A mayoral candidate being challenged. The saga surrounding embattled South Suburban politician Tiffany Henyard continues.
The mayoral candidate will be on the general election ballot despite an attempt to block her candidacy by an ally of current Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
The political chaos in Thornton Township, Dalton, Illinois, has reached unprecedented levels, with embattled Mayor Tiffany Henyard at the center of a real-life drama that continues to captivate the community. From township shutdowns and lawsuits to federal investigations and fiery press conferences, Henyard's leadership has become a spectacle of controversy. The latest upheaval came with the abrupt closure of the Thornton Township building, leaving residents and employees in disarray. On Wednesday morning, the building was locked, with a notice on the door announcing its closure, yet offering no details about the duration or the services impacted. Residents seeking assistance programs, employees arriving for work, and even the township assessor were left confused and frustrated. One man, trying to submit urgent paperwork for a food assistance program, expressed the collective sentiment. Now what? As the township grapples with this ongoing crisis, the question of what happens next looms large, with no clear answers in sight.
We spoke to Henyard's spokespeople today and trustees who are calling it a ploy.
What's going on? What do we do? What do we have to do?
The shutdown of Thornton Township follows a series of failed township meetings that couldn't reach a quorum, primarily due to the absence of two trustees, Carmen Carlisle and Chris Gonzalez. Their refusal to attend, Mayor Tiffany Henyard claims, is a calculated effort to block her from appointing someone to fill a vacant trustee position, a move that would grant her a tie-breaking vote on the board. Without a quorum, the township has been unable to renew its insurance, which Henyard insists is critical to maintaining operations. She has warned that the lack of insurance could lead to the suspension of essential services for seniors and children, as well as potential layoffs affecting over 100 employees. It's hurtful to even mention the potential of layoffs, she said, emphasizing the risk to vital programs like senior transportation and after-school initiatives.
Lights are off behind me, the doors are locked here, and there's a sign on the building right now that says it's closed. For how long? Neither residents nor employees know at this point.
The insurance crisis has ignited fierce debates over the transparency of Mayor Tiffany Henyard's administration and its approach to financial management. Critics argue that the township's financial troubles stem from years of unchecked spending under her leadership. Residents often cite the widely criticized $40,000 in unaccounted Amazon purchases uncovered during a limited audit of Dalton's finances as a glaring example of poor oversight. What else are they hiding? One frustrated resident asked during a recent town hall. Henyard, however, has dismissed these allegations, maintaining that her administration inherited a financial mess and has been working tirelessly to address it.
Friday, but was met by this sign.
Okay, here I am, and they disappeared now.
Adding to the turmoil, some township employees have anonymously expressed their frustration over the instability they face. "We're constantly worried about whether we'll have jobs next month," one employee shared, adding, "It feels like the residents are being used as pawns in a political chess game, and we're caught in the middle." These concerns mirror the growing unease among not only township workers, but also residents, who depend on essential services now at risk. With no clear resolution in sight, the pressing question is whether Mayor Tiffany Henyard's administration can regain the stability needed to fulfill its promises, or if the township will continue its downward spiral.
Again, no comment from Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Voters here will first head to the polls in February for the primary election, then the general mayoral election.
Trustees Chris Gonzalez and Carmen Carlisle present a different perspective, accusing Mayor Tiffany Henyard of leveraging the insurance crisis to pressure them into approving her trustee appointment. Carlisle criticized the approach as a high school tactic, accusing Henyard of playing games with an issue as serious as insurance. "You can't play with these things," she said. Gonzalez suggested the crisis was avoidable, pointing out that the township's insurance could have been renewed months ago and calling the situation manufactured. He added that the board hasn't historically been involved in insurance renewals, framing the issue as a symptom of the administration's dysfunction. Both trustees have requested a special meeting on Friday to address the backlog of township business, including the insurance issue, but tensions remain high, leaving the matter unresolved.
Our job is to govern, to provide a way, provide services, and we're not doing that because they're stalling government, gridlocking it, because they can't have their way.
Gonzalez and Carlisle have hinted that Mayor Tiffany Henyard's insistence on linking the trustee appointment to the insurance renewal may be part of a broader strategy to consolidate power ahead of the upcoming elections. By keeping the board in a constant state of gridlock, Henyard could position her opponents as obstructing progress while using the resulting crisis to bolster her political narrative. This shutdown is just one chapter in a larger saga, as Henyard's leadership has been under scrutiny for months, with allegations of financial mismanagement and lavish spending overshadowing her tenure as both mayor of Dalton and supervisor of Thornton Township. The FBI is reportedly investigating her administration's handling of township finances, including state grant money intended for youth programs. Adding to the controversy, a WGN investigative report revealed over $100,000 in taxpayer-funded travel and entertainment expenses, including an $85,000 sparsely attended concert. Further concerns have been raised about Henyard's cancer charity, which has allegedly failed to provide transparency on how donations were used. These mounting accusations have deepened public mistrust and intensified the challenges surrounding her administration.
Our hesitation is that if there's a person in there that will just say yes to everything, I mean, it will set us back.
As if that weren't enough, Henyard is also entangled in legal battles on multiple fronts. Earlier this month, she filed a lawsuit against the Thornton Township Democrats, accusing them of voter suppression after being excluded from the ballot for next year's election for township supervisor. The lawsuit alleges that State Senator Napoleon Harris.
We need some action. Somebody that's actually going to do their job. How about that? Somebody that's come in, work for the people, not themselves, and have pictures all over.
Henyard claims that her exclusion was part of a deliberate effort to suppress her candidacy, leaving her supporters to endure freezing temperatures while her allies secured nominations inside. She described the caucus as a hostile takeover and vowed to fight back, even likening herself to Rosa Parks in a press conference. Critics, however, have dismissed her claims as exaggerated, with State Senator Napoleon Harris's attorney calling the lawsuit garbage and emphasizing that caucuses operate according to their own rules and processes.
Manipulation. Nobody likes being manipulated, and when you get here, you know that's exactly what's happening.
Then there's the bizarre saga of Henyard's eviction case. According to court filings, she and her boyfriend, Camel Woods, owe over $13,000 in unpaid rent and late fees for a home in Dulon. The landlord claims they last paid rent in August and even changed the locks on the property to prevent her from entering, although Woods reportedly still lives there. Henyard is said to have moved out in October, raising questions about her personal and financial stability. The case has been postponed until January, but it remains yet another distraction from her responsibilities as a public official. Shari explains.
We're in Thornton Township today, and that main building was locked. No one was answering the main phone lines, and some services that are offered there are for electric and heating for low-income homes.
Amid all the turmoil, Henyard's relationship with the media has grown increasingly combative. At a recent press conference, she invited reporters into a cramped, vacant office, only for her food pantry manager to later inform them that she would not speak to certain bloggers or local newspapers. Burgundy Blue, a YouTuber covering the event, was asked to leave, along with representatives from the Lansing Journal and the Harvey World Herald. This selective approach to media access has sparked sharp criticism, with many accusing Henyard of suppressing free speech and undermining transparency.
Shut down, and that is why the building is closed.
Well, we were advised by the attorneys to close the building. The building shouldn't be open. The risk is great.
The fallout from Henyard's actions has been swift, with residents and commentators expressing growing frustration over the state of leadership in Dalton and Thornton Township. How is this woman not in prison by now? One commenter asked in a YouTube video discussing the latest developments. Another wrote, "So tired of hearing about her. Can't they just get her out of there? How can she hold the township hostage like this? I thought she was already in jail." These sentiments reflect a rising sense of disillusionment among residents, many of whom feel that the ongoing drama is distracting from the real issues their community faces. Henyard, however, has remained defiant, announcing her re-election bid for mayor of Dalton earlier this year. In a social media post, she described her campaign as an opportunity to bring the change needed for the Southland, though critics argue that her leadership has only created more chaos, not change.
He's one of the most recognizable faces that's been on the news lately. I'm talking about the mayor of Dalton, Tiffany Henyard.
And all of social media.
Meanwhile, residents are left to wonder how much longer this political circus will continue, with township services in jeopardy, employees facing layoffs, and federal investigators circling. The challenges ahead are daunting, but the bigger question remains: will voters finally demand accountability, or will the chaos persist? What does this mean for the future of Thornton Township and Dalton? Let us know what you think. Should Tiffany Henyard step down, or does she deserve a chance to defend her record? How do you believe this ongoing drama will impact the upcoming elections? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next update. Stay informed, stay engaged, and don't forget to subscribe for more.